Get ready for your daily dose of marketing strategies and tactics from entrepreneurs with the guile and experience to help you find success in any marketing capacity. You're listening to Marketing School with your instructors, Neil Patel and Eric Su.
Welcome to another episode of Marketing School. I'm Eric Su.
And I'm Neil Patel.
And today we are going to talk about how you can retain more customers. So I was actually just talking with Neil over lunch about this. But if you're a services-based business, simple way to retain customers, people like dealing with people at the end of the day. So just visit them and build a relationship. It seems like, to do something human, it's difficult sometimes, especially when I think about myself. Like I just want to sit at home and work in my boxers and leave me alone. But
that sounds nice.
It is really nice. I think we both that's something we both enjoy. But at the end of the day, like going out there, these people are paying you a retainer every month. They're paying you to help them with marketing. Whatever more you can do to help them, you can establish a relationship. Like in some cases, I'm having one of our clients speak at a conference. You make these other introductions. Just add as much value as you can. Meet them in person. And ultimately, if you're working with somebody that's like a marketing manager or a director, your job is to make them look like a superstar so they'll remember you forever. Or, if you're working with a founder, for example, become their friend and then just figure out how you can continue to help their business. It's not just there'll be a one-trick pony.
A lot of people think retention has to do with how you deal with the customer over time, and that is part of it. But from all the tests and studies that I've seen, it's the onboarding experience that affects retention more than anything else. What I mean by that is, how do you onboard them? What's the first call like? Or if it's a web app, what's the first experience? Look at the metrics of the onboarding. Look at the metrics of the onboarding that for the customers who have the highest LTV take, and then go and change your experience so that way more people go throughout that flow. You can also do something if you're a service-based business, right? Because the first example I gave was more so for a software company or even an e-commerce company. But let's say if you're a service-based business, a company called Conversion Rate Experts used to do this when we used to pay them. At the end of each month, they used to ask us, how was the experience? Are you happy? Are you dissatisfied? What can we do to improve? They would then continually take that data from all the customers, use it to improve the onboarding experience as well as their regular monthly or bi-weekly calls. And this helped them retain customers for a much longer period of time.
Yeah. And the other thing seems, just having, I know like there's, some of my friends use Intercom from a support perspective. I mean, you can use like a Zendesk. There's all these support tools out there, but just having really good customer service that actually responds, because there's some SaaS tools that I use right now where they just don't respond. I try to get back to them, and then I end up churning out pretty quickly because they're not helping me out. They're not doing their job. Customer service, good customer service, at least in today's world, it seems to be table stakes. So if you can't get that going, you need to figure out how to make that happen because it's part of the experience. Like Neil mentioned, so Neil's mentioning the onboarding experience, but also at the same time when people need help, what kind of experience are you giving them? Because it's not just you sit in your boxers all day and that's it and work. You have to figure out like how you can make their life easier overall.
And also doing what's right for the customer plays a big role in today's market. Putting the customer first, although that sounds obvious, it doesn't happen that often in today's market. I pay a software company a monthly fee, and I've been with them for 3 years and the software just sucks. And I call up the founder and he wouldn't let me cancel, even though, my first contract was yearly. And he was like, oh, it automatically renews each year after that. We'll bill you to the end of the cycle. He's like, you can deal with finance. I'm like, you're the one who sold me. Why would I want to deal with your finance team? That just doesn't logically make sense. He's not thinking about the experience he's providing, right? And because his software is in the marketing space, probably not something that he should be doing, considering I'm decently known in the marketing space. And I wouldn't badmouth them. I wouldn't be writing bad blog posts about them. But the experience, how you treat people really matters. The other day, Amazon, I made an order with them. I was traveling. It didn't come in on time. I called their support. I'm like, what the heck? This is, I'm a Prime customer. It says it's going to arrive in 2 days. It's been 4 or 5 days and it hasn't arrived. And Amazon sent me a new product. They overnighted it and they gave me like a huge rebate. It was pretty much almost free for me. And I was like, wow, this is an amazing experience. They really did right for me. And my sister was saying something the other day too, because she works within the organization. She was like, I love Slack. And I'm like, why? And she's like, well, we've used other messaging companies and you know what? They've all improved and they're very similar to Slack. But Slack doesn't charge us for the inactive users. So I don't have to keep going in there and deleting people who have left or no longer using Slack. And she's like, that's an amazing experience. And she's like, for that reason, I don't ever want to leave Slack. But Slack's doing what's best for the customers. And if you have that same attitude, eventually, in the short run, yes, you may not make as much money. But in the long run, I do believe customers are going to start coming through word of mouth, and they're going to stay much longer because there's so much positive reinforcement around your brand.
Yeah. And, to give another quote here, I mean, people ultimately don't remember a lot of details about what you did exactly just over the long period of time, but they do remember how you made them feel. So even if you go the extra mile, like, Neil saying that story reminds me of Amazon. I've never really had a negative customer experience with them, because every single time I complain, they say, hey, you can just keep it, we'll ship you another one, or they'll overnight something to me. So it's always been good. And that pays dividends, right? Because if I say something negative, I'm going to tell multiple people like, oh, don't use Amazon, they suck, blah blah blah. But it's been good, and I tell other people about it, and for them, I mean, they retain me, but they gain more kind of press as well at the same time. So that's it for today, and we'll see you tomorrow.
This session of Marketing School has come to a close. Be sure to subscribe for more daily marketing strategies and tactics to help you find the success you've always dreamed of. And don't forget to rate and review so we can continue to bring you the best daily content possible. We'll see you in class tomorrow, right here on Marketing School.